Well, welcome viewers, Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, Theologist, New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for joining me. We'll just switch accounts here, back to Pro-Theologist. Where are you, Pro-Theologist? There he is. Now, a very interesting story this morning. US woman reveals why she divorced dying husband after 5-year cancer battle. Now, excuse me, viewers, you might ask yourself, if you're a woman, if this was you. It might not be you. We'll soon find out what things you've done in your life, men too, as to ruining your marriage. A woman has opened up about why she sought a divorce from her husband after he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Testicular cancer. There she is. Not a bad looking sort. Russian, I believe. A woman has opened up about why she divorced her dying husband. That's lovely, isn't it? Till death do us part. That's a load of nonsense, isn't it? No, hang on a sec. It's not a load of nonsense, because my ex-partner's mother absolutely loved and cared for the man she was with. I was in awe of it. I thought that was interesting. Very interesting. I admonished the woman, to be honest. The man's not well, and she just sticks by that man. I tell you, what a woman. A woman has opened up about why she divorced her dying husband. Now, this woman's definitely different to my ex-partner's mother. What an outstanding woman she is. And I acknowledge her for what I saw. Saying his 5-year cancer battle took a toll on their marriage as he wallowed in self-pity. Jana Fry, 40, wed her late husband when she was 22 years old and dreamt of starting a family with him. But the bride's dreams were soon dashed when her husband, then 37, was diagnosed with testicular cancer. We couldn't really think about our future, Fry told Caters. How can you plan for a future as your newly married couple when you're struggling with something like cancer? People react in one of two ways to critical illnesses. I've seen it over and over, she continued. Now, this is a life coach, by the way. Okay, how would you like your missus to be involved with this life coach? Oh, he's sick, just leave. The first type was how my husband unfortunately was, the people who drown in self-pity. The second type of people are those who are instead concerned with everyone around them. Well, I think you can balance it out. You just try and keep well and keep playing your part. Self-pity ain't going to help anyone. Fry, who was living in New York City with her husband, said no one was worried about how she was doing during the difficult time. Well, viewers, there was nothing stopping Mrs. Fry or Fry from getting a therapist. And a lot of you people watching this right now could do with a therapist. We saw different kinds of doctors. Not a single person ever offered me help. Well, why would they? They were there to try and save this man's life. There was nothing stopping her from going to get it. This is the ignorance of these women. This is the self-centeredness of these kind of women. What was stopping her, if she lived in New York, from getting help? I'll tell you what was stopping her from getting help. Her. Like a lot of these alcoholics and drug addicts and medicated people. They don't want help. They want their drugs, they want their medication, they want their alcohol. No. No, Mrs. Fry, no. You lived in New York City and you could have got any kind of help you wanted. They never asked, do you need a support system? Do they need to? Is that... If somebody needs support, you go and get it. Or are you part of a counselling group? What, so she's going to sit there herself and go insane until somebody asks her whether she needs help? See, this whole thing's not about her. It's about the husband who's about to cark it. Oh, God. The self-centeredness, guys. Fry's husband continued treatment for his cancer, but the disease only worsened. I was hoping for the best for my ex-husband's cancer, but then years went by and I started to lose hope, she recalled. It was 5 years with all the treatments and it started to change the dynamics within our relationship. Well, yeah, 100%. It wasn't until the 5th year that I started to think about leaving, she continued. But I felt like I couldn't say anything. Why? Why? You get these girlfriends, right? They go, oh, I couldn't talk to you because you got angry, or you get angry. It's not. It's low self-esteem on their part. People want to fix things. People want to get things sorted out, but you can't sort anything out if you're not going to talk about it. I felt like I couldn't say anything. That's just rubbish. See, a lot of people run on how they feel rather than run on what's real, and it just wrecks everything. When someone is dying next to you, you feel like you can't talk about your own well-being because you compare it to their suffering. Viewers, I guarantee that if she spoke to the man, he probably would have said, yeah, you need to go. I would. I wouldn't want someone hanging around me if I was no good to him. I'd just say, righto, then, well, look, you go and make a life for yourself for the time that you've got left. It's just twisted, isn't it? You feel like you can't talk about your own well-being because you compare it to their suffering. That's rubbish. People look beyond all that. They would have known she was suffering. They would have known that she needed support. Can you see the pity party here? The immaturity? No. It's wrong. It's so wrong. It's not true what she's saying. You can see that there's something wrong with her thinking here. It was my first... So what's happened? Fran says she was motivated to finally leave her sickly spouse after a friend took their own life. What's that got to do with leaving your partner? It was my first funeral and it was very shocking. I've buried stacks of people, viewers, when I was a minister, and I have to say I don't want to go to another funeral either, but it's a part of life. It's just a part of life. Fry explained of her pal's unexpected suicide. In my mind at the time, suicide became an option. Okay, well, good for one, good for all, by the sound of that, even though I had never considered that before. I was in such a bad state. Now, viewers, the only person she's got to blame now is herself. She can only blame herself. Because if she needed help and she didn't seek it, then you can't blame him. You can't blame the people around you. You have to say it's her responsibility and she did nothing about it. Negligent. Now, if your friend commits suicide, terrible to think, and you wouldn't wish it on anyone. But how can that play an influence in your life? That means if your friend has an affair and has sex with the guy next door, is that something that you're going to make an option? You know, it's so immature. If she was a mature, proper... This person's a life coach, right? If she was mature, healthy person, which she seems to look like, why would she have not gotten help if she's a life coach? It was very clear to me that if I didn't save myself, I was probably going to die, she dramatically added. Save herself from what? Save herself from a dying husband. That means if you're around people that are dying, you've got to leave. And that's narcissistic. Viewers, that's completely and utterly narcissistic. I've got to save myself from my dying husband. Fry subsequently, you know what, I'll say this, and I hope you're watching this. The mother of my ex-partner, I've never seen a more devoted woman than this woman. The devotion of this woman and the love and the care was just mind-boggling. How thoughtful and caring this woman was. She couldn't do enough. Oh, mate. This sort of person here, good looks are only skin deep, boys. Fry subsequently filed for a divorce from her husband, leaving him stunned. Well, to be honest, if he could have and should have just said, look, you may as well just go. I'm obviously, things haven't worked out the way that we expected. I'm not going to hold you back. Go and get somebody else to have sex with and stuff. You obviously don't care about caring for people. Find somebody that you can have sex with and eat with and sit with. And I'll find my way to the grave without you. His main focus was more and more so about him, she stated. At the beginning of his treatment, he was still checking on me, but he felt even more pity for himself because of the divorce. Well, yeah, divorce isn't a good thing to go through, guys. Nobody wants to get divorced. I can't say that he was hugely supportive. Hang on, who's dying here? Viewers, can I just check? Who's dying here? Her or him? Who? Am I reading this correctly? How could he? The guy was dying. How can he support her? This is a matter of sacrifice now. This is a matter of living up to what you got married for. She further admitted that her decision to end their marriage, but what was even harder was the reaction of the society, which I didn't expect. Well, people have got principles. I'm sorry to break the news, viewers. People have got principles and morals. People have got principles and morals. There are people left with principles and morals. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are just off their heads. Fry says people sent horrible messages and that her husband's family was disappointed. I know what it's like to be disappointed by people. You probably know what it's like to be disappointed by people. You can understand the disappointment. She wants to go off and find somebody else to live a life with. We'll leave him to die. People were in pain and they wanted to blame someone, she explained. Oh, gosh. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. Oh, no, I just took off and nobody, everybody should have applauded me. Fry says she and her husband subsequently stopped speaking. He ended up remarrying before he passed away 2 years later. I don't know if that was a good idea, but obviously there was somebody that was prepared to care for him. There's a lot in that. You could unpack that, the difference between Fry and the woman that married the man. And now we go in that she's all offended that no one contacted her. I actually found out on Facebook that he passed away. Well, you pissed off. She pissed off and left him. What do you think? They're just going to keep... See, what people don't realise, once you're out of a relationship, that's it. That's it. Unless something dramatic's going to happen and the person has a revelation that they really want you and need you and they're sorry for fucking things up or whatever, that's it. It's over. Finished. You never see that person again. Don't expect them to send Christmas cards and birthday cards. I actually found out on Facebook that he passed away. There was a picture of him from a common friend and it said, "Rest in peace." My first reaction was, you must be joking. Like, look at the mentality of this woman. Someone would have called me and told me, but no one did. Now she's mournful. The point of that is, viewers, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. I want to wrap this up because it's going too long. He's gone. He's gone, that bloke. Fry has since moved to Singapore and works as a life coach. Oh, look, I'm not even going to go any further with this, viewers. I'm not going any further with it. We're just going to write that woman off as a selfish individual. And I want to honour and acknowledge my ex-partner's mother. I've never seen anything like that woman, man. God, she's from heaven. Anyway, we'll leave her to, and our best wishes with her and old mate. I guess it's a world that we live in now. It's very Sodom and Gomorrah-ish, full of drugs and alcohol and medications and all excuses, mental health and all this. A very bad example of woman. I don't know if you agree. Please leave your comments in the comment section. I'm going to let you think for a minute. In the Matrix. It's scary stuff, viewers. This is Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, Theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Bye for now.